Jerry Rice's consecutive 1,000-yard record. Mayfield throwing. Evans! He's got it! He does it! Jerry Rice has company!
I have a bone to pick with the NFL and the NFL fans. Mike Evans is one of the greatest wide receivers that we've ever seen lace up a pair of cleats and put on a pair of shoulder pads. But it seems like year in and year out, he's the most disrespected player of all time. And then today, I'm no longer standing for it, as we're going to give Mike Evans his flowers that he so rightfully deserves. Now that you got the play call, it's time to go execute, because it's 4th and 1, and we're always going for it. What's good, y'all? Today, we gotta talk about one of the most slept on, underrated, and flat out disrespected players in the entire NFL. Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wide receiver that I think is gonna go down as one of the best that ever played this game, and for sure is a first ballot Hall of Fame. And Mike Evans isn't just disrespected in today's game. For his whole entire career, he has never got the flowers or recognition that he deserves, and it's time for that to change. First of all, let's talk the facts. Mike Evans has had 1,000-yard seasons since coming into the league. Put that into his proper perspective. Since entering the league back in 2014, Mike Evans has put up 1,000+ yards every single year. And when it comes to that impressive stat, not even a guy like Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Larry Fitzgerald, or even Julio Jones ever did that. Mike Evans sits on the throne alone. And that stat wouldn't be so impressive had he had the same quarterback his whole entire career, but this guy has been putting up 1,000-yard receiving seasons with the likes of Ryan Fitzpatrick, Josh McCown, and Jameis Winston at the helm. And of course, it got better over late, like he had Tom Brady, obviously, and now Baker Mayfield. But the point is it doesn't matter who's throwing the ball, he's still going to find a way to put up a G every season. And yet, people treat him like he's just a good receiver, like he's just some big body red zone guy. No, bro, he's a Hall of Famer right now, and people don't even say his name when they talk about top receivers. The most recent top 10 list from ESPN has Mike Evans barely making the list at number 9, and he's behind guys like Nico Collins and Malik Neighbors and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And for me personally, he's number 6 best receiver in this league. I'm taking Mike Evans over all those guys. Of course, a guy like Malik Neighbors has the better trajectory because he is a rookie, and I think overall he'll probably end up having a elite level impact on the game. But right now, headed into 2025, I'm taking Mike Evans at worst number 6 on the top 10 receivers list in the NFL. And take it from a guy whose receiver was left off this list. I'm a Washington Commanders fan, and Terry McLaurin's my favorite player, but he was left off this list in the honorable mention category. But yet, I'm still sitting up here banging the table for Mike Evans to be higher on this list. And that's just how it is every single year for Mike Evans, and I don't understand it. It seems like when people name off the top 5, top 10 receivers list, it's like, oh yeah, but you can't forget Mike Evans. Oh yeah, you gotta remember Mike Evans still around. It just seems like that's everyone's instant thought, and it shouldn't be like that. When you're listing the best receivers in the league, it should be a no-brainer to mention Mike Evans because he's one of the best. And you're probably like, Juan, why don't you think Mike Evans get the flowers that he so rightfully deserves? And honestly, there's quite a bit of reasons why I think that is the case. Number 1, let's just call it what it is. Tampa Bay does not have a hardcore fan base. From the outside looking in, at least it looks that way. I'm not saying they don't have any fans at all, but my Washington Commanders, both times we played them this past year, week 1 and in the postseason, we took over their stadium. And of course, I know there are real diehard Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans out there and in their fan base, but Tampa Bay is a small market as well. They're rarely on primetime football like Sunday nights and Monday nights, and when they are, it's always a trash matchup. But I do feel like that's going to change here shortly, as they're one of the best teams in the NFC, led by Baker Mayfield, so hopefully they get some more shine, which can lead to more exposure for that franchise. And of course, I could be wrong, but on the outside looking in, at least in my lifetime, when they got Tom Brady, that was the only time Tampa Bay was truly in the mainstream media on a consistent basis. And also, Mike Evans is the constant professional. He's quiet, he's not flashy, you don't see him begging for attention, doing crazy TikTok TikTok wild celebrations. He just shows up, gets his 80 to 90 to 100 yards, maybe a touchdown or two, or go home. In today's NFL, if you ain't loud, people forget about you, but that's just not him. And that's the thing that I love about him most, is that he's always just show up, do his work, go home. But let's talk about his resume for a second. Can I brag on Mike Evans? He has over 12,000 receiving yards and over 100 career touchdowns. That's more than Calvin Johnson had in his career. That's more than Reggie Wayne. That's more than Andre Johnson and Steve Smith. But yet these guys get talked about all the time as one of the game's greats. And of course, those guys are, right? We're talking about gold jackets that are really good. But the point is he deserves to be in that conversation. And when it's all said and done, I think it will be a case where he's going to be in Canton, but people aren't going to truly understand his greatness until he's no longer playing the game. And trust me, this is coming from a guy who literally watched him murder his team twice. First of all, last year in week 1, he killed Benjamin St-Juste. And then in the playoffs, he killed Marshall Lattimore. And he always murders the Washington Commanders when we play him. So he's damn good, man. And he deserves his respect. And he's for sure one of the best that has ever laced them up. The last thing I'll say is Mike Evans is a real pro. He's been loyal to the Buccaneers. Never cried for a trade and never threw teammates under the bus. He played through injuries, losing seasons, coaching changes, QB drama, and still showed up every single week. He's the type of player that you want to build your franchise around, and it's crazy how people just casually skip over his name when they're listing the greats. You want clutch? He's had playoff games with 100+ receiving yards. You want longevity? 11 seasons of 1,000 yards. You want consistency? He's done it every year. No fluke, no off year. Even when dealing with injuries, he showed up and still produced. In the words of another Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend, Derrick Brooks, when it's all said and done, Mike Evans will be known as Mr. Buccaneer. When you think of Tampa Bay, you think of Mike Evans, and that's how it should be. Good job. You executed that play perfectly. But line it back up, because it's always 4th and 1, and you know we're going for it.
Guys, being the captain of the team.
This means something.
So I appreciate you. Boy. You Mr. Buccaneer.
That's it. I don't know. That title belongs to you now. You got that pressure.